What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Charlotte Soccer Show. It's your boy Danny Brams here with another edition of Decoding the Presser. It's going to be a long one, so strap in. We got a lot to talk about, and we heard from two of our guys that we've been wanting to hear about, the strikers. Enzo and Patrick both spoke to the media today out in Coachella, and little teaser here. Enzo did his work in his interview, I should say, in Spanish. And I don't really speak Spanish all that well. I should. My daughter's bilingual. I'm a poor example, unable to converse with her in both languages, but I do pick up a little here and there. And Enzo's presser was translated by the wonderful Corelli from Charlotte FC Communications. And so we will get to that momentarily. Like I said, this is going to be a long one. I want to quickly, before we get to the presser, I try to get to the point quick here on these episodes. First, let me say thank you to everyone who watches Decoding the Presser. It's kind of like this fun little side thing that we do on the YouTube channel. It's not exactly a main function of the pod, but got a lot of good comments and good response. So keep those coming because it like warms my heart. And like it's not that hard to just click like on the bottom of the video. Obviously, I don't put in a lot of pleas for that necessarily. But this time I will. Before we get with the presser, though, I do want to show a real quick look at the new kit, which was announced this week, and Deuce Dempsey modeling it at the Charlotte FC game. Not sure how Deuce got it before us, but actually I'm pretty sure how Deuce got it before us because he's a celebrity. So I believe he did a speaking engagement with the Charlotte FC Academy, and so he probably picked it up there. Took the boy to the Hornets game. Love that. Stick around in town. Good times for Deuce. We got no problem with that whatsoever. So we are brought to you by Hopfly, as always. Make sure you are making your plans for February 24th, pregame party, March 2nd, away game, first away day party. We have two massive parties planned at Hopfly with giveaways and rare and retro jerseys that you can buy and new kinds of beers and all kinds of fun stuff, photo booth, and like, it's very social scene. So jump in. The Hot Fly parties put together by John and I from the Charlotte Soccer Show for y'all, for the love of the community. They're going to be great. So make sure you do that. And thanks to Hot Fly for partnering with us. We cannot wait to get this going, this partnership going in full earnest ardor. And you're going to see some seriously cool results when we get there, which as Coolio saying, if you ever get there, but we will get there.
Right.
I want to talk about Enzo Copetti. So Enzo spoke today, and as I said, Corelli was there translating. So I skipped the Spanish part of the first Q&A from Jorge Gonzalez, Top in 90, who got it going. Good for him for being able to converse with Enzo in both languages. And I just wanted to say, like, as we get to watch Enzo here, please forgive me in advance for any mistakes I make in the Spanish. I'm going to try to listen along and contribute where I do kind of hear things that I pick out from the Espanol, because I have listened to it a lot. I'm just a poor memorizer of it, I guess. So, but what I love here about Enzo is just the body language and everything that he is like all in for Charlotte. I think you're going to hear some of that. I have not listened to this all the way through, but I did hear some of the bites and whatnot. So, let's listen to it now and hear Jorge, Enzo, Corelli, everyone who's going to participate in this thing. Should be fun. And then we'll hear from Patrick on the second half of this bad boy. And settle in. Let's have some fun.
How do you feel about this season compared to last? And what are the differences under Dean Smith? And Enzo said he finds it similar to his trainings in Argentina and the vision that Dean shares about Enzo he likes and what he saw through the training videos about Enzo stood out to him, and taking that time stood out to Enzo. Lots of changes overall, though, and lots of great feelings across the team. And something that he's going into this season is change in mindset of not only having one good game, but having a good season.
Y mi segunda pregunta es, Enzo, se fueron Camille y Caro y solo quedas tú como DP. ¿Sientes más responsabilidad y liderazgo al comenzar esta temporada, ya que eres el único DP que queda?
Ask him about the responsibility of being a DP this season.
No creo que porque sea DP tengo que tomar ese liderazgo. Sé que es un papel importante, pero bueno, trato de conversar con los jugadores que tienen más experiencia y tratar de encaminar este grupo, que por ahí ciertas situaciones necesitamos cambiar el chip de varios jóvenes para que mantengan una línea y una expectativa alta que si esto lo hacemos en conjunto, creo que vamos a lograr grandes cosas. Nada más tendríamos que amoldar a esos chicos al pensamiento nuestro y yo creo que van a ir por el camino correcto y van a ayudar mucho más al equipo. Sabemos que hay mucha gente joven, muchos chicos hoy en día, que esa juventud nos puede aportar mucho al equipo.
Muchas gracias. Suerte.
I caught high expectations there. Expectación
All
alto.
right. Jorge asked, with Camille and Carol left, and he's the only DP, and Enzo as the only DP left, does he feel a lot of pressure with being the only DP? And Enzo said he doesn't want to rely on that DP title and knows that it's more of a collective effort. He's chatting with other people from the team who have more experience and working to influence the younger players, knowing that they work together, they will be able to accomplish more. And they have a lot of young players, so it feels like if they send together on the right path, they can do something great.
All right.
Sounds good to
Thank
me.
you, Riley. Carlos, go ahead. Then we will go to Claudio after that, and then Arturo, okay?
Ok,
squad in house.
Enzo, buenas tardes, ¿cómo estás? Gracias por tu tiempo.
Gracias a ustedes, todo bien, todo tranquilo.
Thank you
Enzo,
for your
una
time.
pregunta. Sabes
All
que
good.
Charlotte sí tiene mucha fanaticada latina y viendo tu primera temporada y viniendo la segunda, los fanáticos están muy entusiasmados y tienen mucha confianza en ti, sobre todo sabiendo que ahora solamente quedamos con un punta como tú. ¿Te sientes realmente confortable jugando tú solo en delantera o puedes jugar con otro compañero, un 9 o un extremo también?
Yo creo que por ahí se me dificulta más a veces jugar por ser así, dos delanteros, porque al ser dos delanteros y dos puntas,
Delantero is forward. I definitely know that. He's talking about two forwards and one forward, I think, here.
es la costumbre, creo yo. Al jugar solo casi 4 años, también está la costumbre de tener ahí al lado, de mirar a qué movimiento hace o moverse indiferentemente de lo que hace él. Pero sí, me siento mucho más cómodo jugando solo o con un mediapunta también, como lo hizo Breck en este último partido, que hemos estado mucho más cómodos, mucho más conectados. He hablado mucho con Breck del año pasado, de este año, muchísimo. Tenemos casi los mismos pensamientos de cómo jugar, de cómo movernos y la verdad esa conexión está dentro de la cancha también.
Mi última pregunta, con relación a los
Perdón,
Even not-
Carlos, perdón,
Even not
perdón,
speaking the
perdón.
language here, like you can tell just like how thoughtful Enzo is being on this answer, and you really appreciate that because like he's like you can just tell language barrier aside, like for me at least, his commitment just feels better. You can see it coming through the screen. It's great. Let's hear Corelli translate this question for us.
Go ahead.
No, todo bien, todo bien. Carlos asked with the Latino fan base is huge in Charlotte and there's a lot of people supporting him in this position. Does he feel comfortable as the only one in his current position, or does he prefer to have others to lean in on that play similar roles? And Enzo mentioned that he's played alone for a while in the past, but does look for others. And although he does feel more comfortable playing alone, he wants to lean in on others, such as Brecht, and has been working with him and others to see how they could better work together throughout the matches. Okay, Carlos.
Gracias, muy amable.
I'm looking for huge things between the Enzo Brecht connection this year. I don't know if anyone feels the same, but like to hear him mention him there is great. Johnny on our Twitter feed posted the picture of them in the pool playing chicken with Brecht on Enzo's shoulders. And remember the very first video that came out earlier this year of when the Polish guys came back to Charlotte, and there was this big group hug, and like Brecht was there, and Tulum was there, and a few other guys were there, and Brecht was like, Enzo, hey, what's up, Enzo? Like these guys, I think Brecht and Enzo are like buddies, and like I'm here for it. I'm 100% here for the Brecht and Enzo buddy show for sure.
Enzo, sabemos nosotros que la temporada pasada el profe Latancio no te utilizaba mucho como arrancar, o como mejor dicho, empezando los juegos. ¿Tú crees que esta temporada, viendo la posibilidad y los trabajos de Dean Smith hacia ti, crees que también hace él más trabajo con pelota parada? Porque obviamente no hemos visto mucha diferencia en los 2 primeros años con los entrenadores de pelota parada. ¿Ustedes trabajan mucho la pelota parada, sobre todo en ofensiva, donde tú te mueves?
Sí, no solo lo trabaja él,
I think he was talking about doing being an attacking player and doing the defensive work there. I think we'll test me on that here in a second.
Sino todo su cuerpo técnico, trabajan en conjunto y tocamos mucho esa parte este año porque creo que el año pasado también no han convertido goles de pelota parada y hemos también convertido goles de pelota parada, pero tocamos más ese tema porque siempre hubo confusiones dentro del campo, después salíamos y veíamos los vídeos y decíamos, ¿cómo puede ser esto? Y nada, hubo una charla extensa para retocar esos puntos que son puntos clave que te pueden ganar o perder un partido o que te empaten en los últimos minutos. Creo que nos pasó mucho el año pasado y fue un punto clave a tocar a que trabajemos mucho más. Y en estos amistosos se dio que en la zona defensiva estuvo muy sólida, en la pelota parada como en conjunto. Por esto creo que hay otro pensamiento y un chip diferente al del año pasado.
Muchas gracias y suerte para esta temporada.
Gracias.
All right, translation there is last season, previous coach didn't utilize Enzo as much. Do you think under Dean Smith it'll be different, especially in terms of how the balls were played in certain positions and opportunities? And Enzo mentioned that it's not only on Dean, but he sees it with the entire coaching staff and understands that these kinds of positions with stopped balls or can be used to gain critical points, so that things can be worked. So they're working on things together. And this year, there's a different mindset going into the season.
All right, go ahead, Claudio.
All right, it was a little off on my guess there about forwards working hard on defense, but I do love the answer. And the words that I did understand, he talked about points, punto, and togetherness, junto. Like together is junto, points, punto, punto, junto. Let's go get some points together. Sounds like a good idea to me.
Hola Enzo, ¿cómo te va? Buenas tardes.
Hola Claudio, ¿cómo estás? ¿Todo bien?
Bien.
Let's go, Claudio.
La primera pregunta que te quiero hacer es, durante la pretemporada, por lo menos la primera semana, hubieron muchas versiones en la Argentina y algunas acá, de que te querían algunos clubes, se mencionó River sobre todo. ¿Qué tan cierto fueron esas versiones? ¿Fueron más versiones periodísticas o hubo algún contacto?
Yo creo que hubo contactos, nada más que yo he hablado ya de un momento con el manager y con el técnico de una idea que yo tenía y nada, la verdad que me dijeron que estaba en lo correcto, pero bueno, eso son decisiones de ellos, yo ya no me meto y nada, yo decidí quedarme porque para eso estoy, para demostrar de por qué Charlo me trajo a jugar a la MLS, por qué estoy acá y nada, trato de dejarlo pasado atrás y de que este sea un nuevo año y mucho mejor.
Okay, the question was, during preseason, there's been a lot of talk from Argentina and other clubs like River.
Finally, the question that we've all been wanting to get to. It only took 10 minutes for someone to have the balls to ask Enzo the real question. What's with all this talk about you going to Argentina, buddy? Let's hear what Corelli has to translate here.
About Enzo going and talking to them. How true are these, and was there any contact? And Enzo mentioned that there was some contact, spoke to some managers and coaches, but ultimately decided to stay. He wanted to show what he's here for, and not only MLS, but why he's in Charlotte and why he was brought to play here.
Y la otra pregunta que te quería hacer, Enzo, recién te mencionaba
Body
un poco
language
del
not
papel
as
de-
good on that
de
question. You saw him
DP.
puff his cheeks out there.
Yo quiero ir a
Probably
la
tired of
parte
hearing
de
about
que
it, but
es
I
no de
believe
la
him. I think he's committed.
responsabilidad dentro del grupo, pero entendés que vas a tener una responsabilidad con el público. Acá el público le suele exigir al DP y por ahora, salvo que de acá hasta el inicio de la temporada venga uno nuevo, vos vas a ser el que vas a correr con esa responsabilidad, ¿no? El público te va a exigir. ¿Sos consciente de eso?
Sí, ya me lo hicieron saber el año pasado y sé que acá es totalmente diferente ser un DP o ser un jugador más. Yo creo que no me cambia mucho en mi otro compañero. Yo creo que todos somos por igual. Pero nada, sí, yo tengo ese pensamiento de este año de demostrar de por qué estoy acá, por qué soy un DP. Y nada, tratar de hacer la labor de mejor manera y llevar muchos goles este año.
All right, last question was, with that DP status, there's a responsibility that comes with it. Are you aware of that? And Enzo said, yes, he saw that last year. And understands that there's, but to him understands the difference between a DP and non-DP, but for him, that doesn't change the relationship or how he sees himself and how he works with his other teammates. They're all working towards one goal.
Tricky question, tricky answer there. Obviously, you never want to say something in a press conference that like is self-aggrandizing. Then you go back to the locker room and everyone's like, hey, man, what the hell are you talking about? You think you're better than us because you're the DP? So I think he definitely gave a nice little shout out to the teammates there. But yeah, Enzo is the DP. He is getting paid way more than anybody, and he has a responsibility to score goals. He was brought here to do that. And I don't know. I believe him, yo. It seems like he understands that.
All right. Thank you, Claudio. Let's go to Arturo.
Hola Enzo, ¿cómo estás?
Puro, ¿qué tal? ¿Todo bien?
Bien, qué bueno. Enzo, teniendo un técnico nuevo como Dean Smith, en conferencias de prensa anteriores ha hablado un poco acerca de la competencia.
Love a Dean
digamos,
Smith
sana
question.
dentro del equipo entre Patrick y tú.
Hey,
como-
your old
como
boss
delantero
sucked,
puro,
right?
¿no?
But the new boss is great,
club.
right?
¿Cómo te sientes tú con esa competencia? Entendemos, obvio, que para un futbolista siempre es muy bueno tener una competencia interna porque lo eleva, ¿no? Eleva el nivel de su juego. Pero tú, en lo particular, ¿cómo te sientes con esta competencia con Patrick, que sabemos que es un delantero fuerte y es un delantero bastante aguerrido, ¿no?
It's a long question.
Sí, obviamente que no solo acá hay competencia, en todos los clubes hay competencia con diferentes jugadores acá y en el mundo. Obviamente está esa sana competencia, tratar de uno que tiene experiencia, llevarla a él en situaciones de partido o diferentes situaciones fuera de la cancha, de tomar algunas decisiones. Lo hablo siempre mucho con él, lo hablé el año pasado en muchas situaciones. Y nada, yo le dije que esté tranquilo, que él era joven y que tiene mucho para darnos a nosotros. Obviamente que tienen que pensar en futuro, que esto es un proceso, él recién está comenzando, pero lo veo muy bien, lo veo concentrado y compenetrado en el equipo. Y nada, tratar de que esto sea sano y que sea lo mejor para el club.
The question here was,
Heard one of my very favorite Spanish words there. Love to hear it. It's the second time I heard it in this presser. Tranquilo, tranquilo, tranquilo. When you're talking about meet the new boss, he's not the same as the old boss. It's all about keeping it tranquilo. I think we're learning more and more. We'll hear the translation in a second here, but we're just learning more and more. And you could hear the smile, you see the smiles and just see the body language on this answer. Like it's not a joke when I say like all these guys are reborn under Dean Smith, because it's a whole different atmosphere. It's more professionalized from what they're used to, and it's someone who just like knows what they're doing. I think
with a
it's
new
so great.
coach like Dean Smith, he's spoken about competition in previous conferences. Looking at him and Patrick as both forwards, how does he feel about that? How does that make him feel, especially given Patrick's performance? And Enzo said that there's not only competition in the club, but there's always competition everywhere.
Look
And
at
he
that
speaks to
smirk.
Patrick a lot about decisions made on and off the pitch and understanding that everything is a process. But sees Patrick overall as very focused and wants to make sure that everyone and everything stays healthy moving forward.
The best
Y
part
la
about
segunda
this,
pregunta.
the best part about this is that Patrick is sitting off to Enzo's right there. You know, when you saw him like glance over to his right, it's because Patrick's sitting right over there waiting to go next. So very awkward to be not. It's never easy to talk about like the guy who you're quote unquote in competition for your spot with, but especially when they're sitting right over there next to you, and especially, you know,
Enzo, el
when you
año
haven't really
pasado
had a
cuando
chance to
conversamos,
get out
me
there in the
comentabas
season
que
yet.
en Racing sentías que, digamos, estabas mucho más conectado con todos los jugadores del equipo, lo cual te permitía soltarte más y por ende marcar muchísimos goles. Recién comentabas que has hablado mucho con Brett con respecto a la temporada anterior, y en el partido contra el Galaxy vimos
He's having fun here, though,
ese
Enzo,
pase
as
que
you
te
can
dio
tell.
Yuri. Lo cual me lleva a preguntarte, ¿has tenido esas charlas con los jugadores, especialmente aquellos del medio campo, de cara a cómo juegas tú, cómo te sientes tú en el campo de juego, digamos, para mejorar el performance del equipo general de cara a la próxima temporada?
Yo creo que el año pasado creo que pasó de que yo no llegué a tiempo a la pretemporada, bueno, por distintas situaciones de mi visa o tema de contrato. Creo que me faltó conocer, que me conozcan más. Me tuvieron muy poco en conocer mi forma de jugar, de cómo me muevo. Yo creo que esta pretemporada fue totalmente diferente. Hablé muchísimo con los jugadores del medio y los extremos. Tratar de que ellos me conozcan cómo me muevo, dónde prefiero ir, en qué momento tirarme un balón largo, en qué momento yo vengo a buscar la pelota para tratar de pivotear y buscar un apoyo. La verdad que he hablado bastante, hasta un cansancio, pero bueno, esto es así para la mejoría de todos, no solo de mí, sino del equipo y que el equipo trate de estar cada vez más alto, cada vez más ganador, con esa mentalidad positiva siempre, de que si vamos por abajo del resultado, tratar de que saquemos un poquito más de nuestro corazón, de nuestro aguerrido. La verdad que en eso trato de ser diferente, porque yo lo vivo así, de esa manera, y trato que el equipo sea también de esa manera.
Right.
Another
Question here
long, thoughtful
was,
answer from Enzo.
in his past, with passing, he felt like he was very connected with a lot of his teammates, and that led to a lot of goals. So, and he's mentioned Brecht and others. Has he spoken to other players about relationships, working together, looking into the season? And his answer was that he feels like last year, because of timing and other things, he didn't really get a chance to connect with others the way he probably would want to. And feels like with this season, things are different. And he has had a chance to connect with others about his playing style, where he looks for assists, support, lots of talk overall, and worth it for him, because it is for the betterment of not only him, but the club, to be elevated and continue to have positive mindsets together.
Gracias, Enzo.
Hey, it's good to be friends with your teammates. Who knew? Who would have thought? You know?
Okay, thank you, Arturo. Guys, we're running short on time here, so let's
Any
go one each
workplace.
on the last 4 people we have, okay? Let's go the last 2 Spanish. We'll go John and Alex, and then Willie P and Steve will get to you at the end, okay? So John, why don't you go ahead, and then we'll go to Alex.
All right, Enzo, gracias por el tiempo. Tenía un par, pero voy a escoger la personal. Ahora en marzo ya va a cumplir un año Mía. ¿Cómo está Mía? ¿Qué has aprendido este año? ¿Qué te ha cambiado este año?
Mi vida creo que cambió. Ya antes mi vida era el fútbol, vivía compenetrado en mi cabeza, solo tenía el fútbol, vivía para el fútbol, hasta que nació mi hija, que creo que cambió mi vida, cambió mi forma de pensar. Cada vez que llego a casa la veo hoy en día caminar, que empezó a los 10 meses y medio, que fue increíble. Y nada, ahora me toca estar lejos de casa, por ahí me duele un poquito, pero bueno, ya está por cumplir años. La verdad que pasó el tiempo muy rápido. Un abrir de ojos ya la vi caminando, y ahora ya la encontré diciendo mamá, papá. Es una cosa emocionante para mí, que no la he sentido nunca, y nada, sé que no fue de lo más fácil, pero cuando llegó fue lo más feliz de nuestra vida. Gracias.
The question there was more personal. So Mia is going to be 1 in March. How have things changed for him? And he said his life completely changed. Before, his life was just football, and when his daughter was born, his life changed. His mindset changed. When he comes home, sees her walking, hitting different milestones, and being far away hurts. But like she's saying mom and dad now. And it wasn't the easiest, but it was a joy for him.
Wow. How awesome is that? Enzo and Danny Brams, girl dad love. You know, I love anything that connects me to the guys in the club, and to see his face light up there talking about his 1-year-old daughter and the milestones. I start thinking about when my daughter was young, back when she was 1. You know, those were the times. Glad Enzo's getting to go through all that, and it will change your life for sure. Trust me. Might even make you better at your job. Some might say.
Thanks, John. Alex.
Gracias. Hola Enzo, ¿qué tal? ¿Cómo te va? Alex Caminero te
Alex,
saluda
¿qué tal?
para Caminar Sport y Fútbol Sin Códigos. Enzo, pues creo que preguntarte esto va de más, pero creo que has seguido mucho a Racing, ¿verdad? Es un equipo que está en racha totalmente, viene goleando últimamente. ¿Cómo lo ves para este año? Y si el sábado, ¿dónde vas a ver el partido? El tuyo es a la 1 de la tarde, pero ese es a las 5 de la tarde, hora de Nueva York.
Pero se juega acá ese partido. Se juega acá ese partido, creo. ¿O no? En Charlotte.
No, claro, claro. Juegan con Minnesota ustedes a la 1 de la tarde, pero Racing
Ah,
juega con Godoy. ¿Dónde vas a ver el partido?
claro, no sé. Yo casi siempre lo veo. Si no, busco el resumen o algo. Sé que viene en racha. Ganó dos partidos increíbles, la verdad. Y bueno, esos también. En equipo nuevo, muchos jugadores nuevos, entrenador nuevo. La verdad que a veces los cambios también viene bien cuando uno lo necesita. Yo creo que en Racing fue una etapa la que pasé yo, ahora es otra etapa totalmente diferente y nada, por suerte le está yendo bien y bueno, eso me alegra mucho.
Sorry, I couldn't find the mute button. The question was,
Gotta get that on
everyone
mute.
knows that Enzo follows Racing. How do you see them this year, and where will you be watching? Will he be watching the games? And Enzo said he always tries to watch, and when he can't, he watches recordings. He mentions that there's a lot of changes, which can be good and needed sometimes, depending on what chapter of things are. And Racing was a different chapter in his life, and now he's he was a previous chapter in his life. Now he's in a different one. But he's looking forward to the future.
Pensé que me preguntaba por el clásico.
My take on Racing, shouldn't have got rid of Anibal Moreno. I think he locked it down in the midfield, and they're definitely going to miss him. He's off to Palmeiras, I believe, in the Brazilian league. So Moreno's a big loss for Racing. Little known fact, you may or may not know this, Thomas Chankalai, the forward winger for New England Revolution, was a former teammate of Enzo's at Racing. Maybe another guy we should have signed, huh? I'll have to talk to Zorn about that if I ever get a chance to have another conversation with him.
Que también se juega el día del partido contra New York.
Okay, let's go to Willie P, and then Steve, final two here, okay?
Buenas tardes, Enzo. Hope you're doing well.
Thank you.
Buenos tardes.
In terms of something that Dean mentioned, either it was at the last press conference or after the first preseason game, he says that he wants you mostly in the middle of the box toward the center of the field more so this year compared to where you were last year, more so on the flanks. How have you kind of taken this change, first off? And number two, do you feel like it suits your game better?
Kareli?
See, okay.
Enzo listening to Willie P ask that question in English is like me. That's what the look on my face when I'm listening in Spanish, trying to, like, I know some words, I'm trying to pick it out, but Corelli, now it's time her chance to translate in reverse. This is good times.
No entendí lo último.
Te preguntó sobre que en una conferencia que Dean dijo en el pasado que quieres
Bien.
que usted esté más en el medio de la caja en comparación con el otro año. ¿Cómo te has ajustado a ese cambio o cómo ves ese cambio?
Es una pelea constante. Creo que siempre me reclama que esté en el medio, pero como yo soy un delantero que tiene mucha movilidad, por ahí me cuesta a veces quedarme quieto al no tener el contacto con el balón. Trato de por ahí moverme mucho, pero bueno, sí, es una constante pelea no una pelea, sino constante entredicho con el entrenador que me quede en el box.
So it's challenging. It's a constant battle, but not in like a mean kind of way. With the position that he has, he wants to have a lot of mobility, wants to follow the ball. So it's a work in progress.
He
Thanks,
can't
Rob.
help
Good
it.
luck
He
this
just
season.
always wants to run after the
Yes,
ball, you know.
nice.
He doesn't want to
Okay,
post up.
final
He
one,
wants to
Steve,
go
and
get
then we
that
can
thing.
get to Pat.
Okay, thank you. Hello, Enzo. Good to see you. I was also interested in how fatherhood has changed you as a player, and
What's he
you know,
pointing
in
at?
maturity and things like that, but also with the big industrial hair complex trying to tell us that blondes have more fun for decades now. You're literally back to your roots with the dark hair.
Back to
Is
your
that
roots. Leave it to Steve for the
sign of,
wordplay.
does that mean anything, or is that just
He can't
you
help
haven't been
himself.
able to get to the stylist because you've been traveling so much?
Carelli, sí. Entendí lo último, pero
Te quería preguntar de cómo siendo papá te ha cambiado como jugador. ¿Te ha ayudado a madurar o cómo te ha ayudado, te ha cambiado con eso? Y la
I
segunda
feel for
parte de
Corelli
la
trying to translate one of
siendo
Steve's
papá.
questions. She
Ah,
might
siendo
not even know
papá.
half these words in English.
Yes and no. Mi mujer siempre me reta mucho de que vivo mucho para el fútbol, que estoy metido siempre en el fútbol, pero a veces yo digo que es mentira porque casi nunca el único partido que yo veo de fútbol es Racing y nada más. Por ahí me puede haber enojado por diferentes situaciones, pero bueno, eso ya pasó de página, fue el año pasado. Este año me dio muy diferente, con buenas sensaciones y nada, esperemos que sea un excelente año para todos.
La pregunta fue, sorry, Enzo, ¿cómo siendo papá te ha cambiado como jugador?
Ah, ¿cómo siendo papá? Yo creo que al no dormir de vez en cuando me deja un poquito cansado, pero me cambió en el pensamiento en ese por eso te digo, de que antes me enojaba mucho y ahora como que cuando llego a casa estoy con ella y en ese sentido me ha cambiado, como que no me lo tomo tan a la ligera de enojarme rápido, sino que cuando llego a casa se me van todos los problemas, pero re bien.
So for the fatherhood question, he says that he's sleeping less, but his mindset has changed too. He doesn't get as angry or frustrated as often. He goes home and that kind of goes away. La segunda parte de esa pregunta, Enzo, era, antes tenías el pelo rubio y ahora te has cambiado más natural. ¿Eso significa algo?
Significa que no está quien me teñe el pelo. Pero sí, qué sé yo siempre cambio de vez en cuando. Por ahí meto de vuelta el color, por ahí no, pero seguramente vuelva.
He said that it means that he hasn't gotten to his barber, but he likes to change up his hair colors.
Siempre en cambio, always changing.
All right. Thanks.
I think we can expect some new hair looks from Enzo this year for sure. He looks like didn't exactly like being called out there for being back to his roots, as Steve so aptly joked there. So we're about to hear from Patrick here now in a second. What we got here from Enzo, though, just again, like thoughtful, deep answers, really like contemplative, I felt like, of his place here in Charlotte as the lone DP until someone else comes in, and what he needs to do, his excitement to play for Dean Smith, the new manager, the new atmosphere and attitude. So all systems go for Enzo. Vamos, vamos, vamos. I'm pretty excited. Love the goals that he scored in the attacking play that he's already had in Coachella. Would love to see him score again here in the final game against Minnesota on Saturday. So all is well. Again, it's funny that he had to talk about Patrick when Patrick was sitting there next to him. Let's see if anyone asks Patrick about competing with Enzo.
We're going to wrap up with Enzo there. Give us a second to change over, and we'll have Patrick Agyemang for you. Thanks, Enzo.
Gracias.
Love that salute.
Thank you.
Thank you, Enzo.
Is that the new goal, Sally?
Thank you, Corelli.
Patty has this,
De nada.
so Enzo has to do both. Has to do the double. Great. Thanks for bearing with me, everybody, by the way, for my poor Spanglish. It's the best I can do sometimes. Hopefully nobody feels like I was disrespectful. I certainly want to understand things better and do the best I can, but sometimes all you can do is do the best you can, right? So but loved hearing from Enzo, loved everything he had to say. And can't wait to hear from Patrick. How long is it gonna be? Okay,
What's going on, Patrick? How are you?
Willie P, first question.
I'm good. I won't ask if it's the custard cab, so you don't have to say, no, this is Patrick.
No worries.
Oh,
The phone thing has taken on a life
SpongeBob
of its
jokes will
own. I
never
know it
stop, I
started
think, with this
obviously
kid.
when you got here. Are you surprised at how much that has kind of become a thing with the fan base?
Honestly, yeah. I never really thought about it in terms of it becoming a thing with the fans, but I love it. I know it engages everybody, and it's something I like to do. So as long as it's making everybody happy, I'll continue doing it.
What kind of impact has Dean
Oh, Pat.
had on you and the evolution of your game?
Yeah, he's had a big impact. He believes in me and he wants me to just keep working. He gives me right advice and just tells me the right things, and I'm just trying to execute as much as possible. But all I'm doing is trying to learn as much. He's a experienced coach and he knows a lot. So I just want to take as much information from him and apply it to my game. So yeah, he's been good.
Belief.
And one
Belief is
follow-up
important
I
in this
have,
game, folks.
with you and Enzo kind of being the lone guys up there as a striker, is it enough motivation for you to say, hey, I come on at the hour mark or the 65th minute, or do you still have that hunger to, crack the starting lineup on any given day and things of that nature in terms of trying to get to that point where you are the person who's called on from the start?
Watch the body
Yeah, I think
language.
it's just whatever I could do to help the team. I'm just gonna keep working. I'm gonna keep applying myself and whatever's best, whether it's me starting or whether it's me coming off the bench. It's just me taking advantage of every opportunity and just providing myself for the team.
Thanks, pal. Good luck.
Great professional answer there by Patrick.
sorry.
Love that. As I lose my place here in the presser. Love the great professional answer there, but you did see maybe a little bit of body language there with the lean forward and the pull back as he went into it. So I don't know. I'm not going to read too much into it, but safe to say I think he wants to start. I think a lot of people want him to start. So just going to remain to be seen what happened. Dino did mention maybe they could play together. Maybe not. Maybe so, maybe not. As the boys in Fish like to sing. So we'll find out.
We're here to compete. We're gonna compete for every game, and we want to be one of the best teams in the conference. So we're gonna do whatever it takes to be so, and just work hard for it. Obviously we have a lot of good teams in this conference, and that's a given and it's known. But we're gonna apply ourselves to be one of them as well.
Awesome. Thank you. Good luck this season.
Thank you.
Got to
Hey,
be
Nick
one of the best
Valley.
teams in the conference. Best teams in the league.
Hey,
How
good
about
afternoon,
that?
Patrick. How are you doing?
Hey, good. How you doing?
So wanted to ask you, so Enzo was talking about him having conversations with you and talking about the competition. Can you talk a little bit about those kind of things that you all talk about and just how you're feeling about the competition?
Yeah, I honestly love it. He gives me a lot of advice, to be fair, when it comes to positioning and just like working hard on and off the field and off the ball especially. So I ask him questions in terms of what he would do in the situation, and he would just help me out, or we just talk about whatever we see is right. And it's good. It's a good, friendly competition. I think we both want to play and we both want to score goals, and that's what you want in your team. So we're just pretty much pushing each other each and every day, but I love it.
Cool. And then secondly,
This
I
kid
wanted
knows
to
the
talk
score.
about what part of your game will we see highlighted this season that we may not have seen last season?
I want to be a threat. I want to be a main threat going in behind, and I think I'm going to be a little bit more comfortable. Especially this is my second year playing professional soccer, so I'm more used to it than I was last year, and I think I'm going to have more be more comfortable on the ball and doing things that you guys probably haven't seen much. So hopefully I get to show it.
Cool. Thanks, Patrick.
Thank you.
Both strikers have
Great.
really gotten the message.
Let's
It's
go
time to make runs in
to,
behind. That's what Dino wants, and that's what Dino's
let's go to
going to get
Bridget,
from both these guys.
and then we'll go to Steve.
Hi, Patrick. How are you?
Hi, good. How you doing?
I'm doing well, thank you. So last year we noticed that frequently you got calls against you, and we feel like it was based on your stature, your height. How did you deal with that? How does that personally affect you, and how do you overcome that?
It's frustrating. It is
Good question.
frustrating. I know some calls that I get called against me that probably wouldn't be called against any other players. But I mean, it's just I can't control it, and it's just me going to the next play. I think I need to realize that and not dwell too much on those situations, whether I think it's a foul or not, or whether I think I'm getting fouled or not. At the end of the day, they have the call, so I can't really control too much. I just need to focus on what I can control. So, yeah, I've been working on that, and hopefully they help me out a little bit. But if not, then I just deal with it.
Great. And now that
That's a great question because he got a great answer. Like I always say on this gig, like the quality of a question is oftentimes determined by the answer that it elicits. So that's a good one from Patrick because we got a moment of honesty there. He said it twice. It's frustrating. And he did go on to, give you sort of the I can only control the controllables answer that you would expect to get from any professional athlete. But I love a rare moment where we did get to peek in there just a minute, and you could feel his frustration, even amidst the smile that is, a million miles wide and radiant throughout all this entire Q&A session. Like, that was the moment where you could feel the frustration that Patrick feels each time as he gave in that answer.
Carroll has gone on loan. How do you see that for your opportunities now with the first team?
Yeah, it obviously we were the strikers here, me, Enzo, and Carroll, and he going to Serie A, it obviously opens up an opportunity for me, and I wish him the best, but it's just me trying to just take advantage as much as possible and just get game time and really try to help the team. I think that's the main thing I want to do, is just help the team as much as possible and show what I can do and show that I can play in this league. So yeah.
Well, last year, every time you came in, you scored for us. So we hope that you still have that luck this year as well. One more thing. So Scotty was playing his guitar, and are you part of that gang now, the band?
If they need a backup singer, I'm here. I could show a little vocals,
I saw you in the background. I'm coming along, so you got it.
Hopefully he invites me, but we'll see.
Little barbershop quartet.
Okay, well, thank you so much.
All right, thank you so much.
Okay, Steve Goldberg.
Hey, Patrick. Enzo's the Energizer Bunny up there with is putting the high press on it and pressure there. What do you think of the opportunities to play together up there with his pace and, kind of water bug, pressure, and your length being able to block, you can match up with any center back and winning the ball, in their third. How do you like that?
Yeah, it would be cool. I think we played a couple times last year together. Not as much, obviously, but yeah, you never know. Like I enjoy playing with him, and I think it would be a good duo up front if we play together. But you never know. If the opportunity comes, then hopefully it does. Then we'll take advantage. But if not, then can't really say too much.
Yeah, because you're similar, like with Daniel Rios, and having the height to knock balls down to Enzo or midfielders coming through on something like that. Is that something y'all have worked on in practice?
In terms of what, knocking the ball down?
No, you and Enzo.
Oh, playing together?
Yeah.
Here and there, we train together. I know what he likes to do on the ball and off the ball. I think he knows what I like to do as well. So we do understand each other's game, and it's just whether or not it comes to pass. So yeah.
Great, thank you.
Thank you.
Have fun.
Cool. All right, guys. I don't see any more hands. So final call here. If anyone has a final question for Patrick before we wrap up.
How's that spy game going?
It's good. It's a great game. It's a great game. Definitely team bonding. A lot of cheaps out here, but it's okay. It's okay.
Awesome.
Yeah. Thank you, man.
Have a good one. Good luck.
Thank you.
All right, we're up there, guys. Thank you. Appreciate
They
it.
don't want to talk about the spy game. They refuse to give us the details of the spy game. Only Jalen would dish on the spy game, which makes us all realize that he's, of course, the spy. That's it for this Decoding the Presser. What I got from that, it's tough for Patrick in that situation. Almost every question was about playing time, because it's tough. You're the backup guy, but you're a talented backup, and everybody loves you, and everybody wants to see you play. But I think it's going to be Enzo's job for now, and Steve really tried to press him hard, and I've said this before, that Dino has mentioned it before, that, I could play them together. And, Steve was kind of pressing him, like, would you play together? Do you think you and Enzo could play together? Do you understand each other's game? Do you like to knock balls down? And it's like, I get it. And that's what a lot of us wouldn't mind seeing, because we've got holes anyway. We might as well try to get our two strikers that are both good on. But from what I heard in that presser, I didn't get too encouraged that Patrick thinks that he's going to be playing together on the pitch with Enzo. It looks like we're going to see Patrick kind of relegated to that backup striker role, super sub, if you will, depending on what's going on with Enzo. But not a bad one to have. I think he's going to make a huge impact on the season. We need more late goals and more sub goals anyway. So let's do it to it. We're going to find out. We're less than 10 days away, depending on when you're watching this, from the season opener. That's it for Decoding the Presser. Thanks for joining us for the crown, baby.